Hello, and welcome to your mind. As social creatures, humans are inherently wired to seek out and participate in groups, but have you ever wondered how these groups function? How do they influence our thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors? In this video, we'll explore the theories behind these concepts, their real-world applications, and the potential dangers of groupthink. So sit back, relax, and get ready to expand your understanding of the intricate workings of human groups. Group dynamics is a fascinating topic that explores how people behave when they are in groups. One of the classic experiments is the Asch conformity experiment, where participants were asked to match the length of a line with the correct one, but were also surrounded by Confederates who purposely gave the wrong answer.
As you can see here, I have a number of cards, and on each card there are several lines. Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the line on the left and determine which of the three lines on the right is equal to it in length. All right, we'll proceed in this order. You'll give your answer.
Only one of the people in the group is a real subject, the fifth person with the white t-shirt. The others are Confederates of the experimenter and have been told to give wrong answers on some of the trials. The experiment begins uneventfully as subjects give their judgments.
Two.
2,
2.
2,
2. 3.
3, 3, 3.
But on the third trial, something happens.
2. 2.
2,
2.
2.
The subject denies the evidence of his own eyes and yields to group influence.
The results showed that many participants went along with the group, even if it meant giving the wrong answer. This experiment highlights how conformity can be a powerful force that influences behavior, even when we know it is not the right thing to do. Another factor that influences group dynamics is obedience, which is the tendency to comply with authority figures, even if it means doing something that goes against our own values or morals. The Milgram experiment is a classic study on obedience, where participants were asked by a doctor, who in this case is an authority figure, to give electric shocks to a learner when they made a mistake. The shocks were fake, but the participants didn't know that. The results showed that many participants continued to give shocks because the doctor was asking them to continue, even when the learner was in pain or appeared to be unconscious.
The teacher would ask the learner questions in a word game and administer an electric shock when the answer was incorrect. He was told to increase the voltage with each wrong answer.
Cloud, horse, rock, house. Answer. Wrong. 150 volts. Answer, horse.
Oh. Experiment, that's all. Get me out of here. Get me out of here, please.
Continue, please. Go right on.
I refuse to go on. Let me out.
Refuses to go on.
The experiment requires you continue, teacher. Please continue.
Participants didn't know that the learner was really an actor and the so-called shocks harmless.
You're gonna get a shock. 180 volts.
Oh. I can't stand the pain. Let me out of here.
Can't stand it. I'm not gonna kill that man, eh? I mean, who's gonna take the responsibility if anything happens to that gentleman?
I'm responsible for anything that happens here. Continue, please.
All right, next one, slow. Walk, dance, truck, music.
Two-thirds of volunteers were prepared to administer a potentially fatal electric shock when encouraged to do so by what they perceived as a legitimate authority figure. In this case, a man in a white coat.
This experiment highlights how people can be influenced by authority figures and can be made to do things they wouldn't normally do. Another example of obedience is the case of the Stanford Prison Experiment, where participants were randomly assigned to be either a prisoner or a guard in a simulated prison environment. The experiment was supposed to last 2 weeks, but had to be terminated after only 6 days due to the abusive behavior of the guards towards the prisoners. This experiment highlights how people can be influenced by the roles they are given and how power can corrupt. Group polarization is another factor that influences group dynamics. This is the tendency for groups to make decisions that are more extreme than the individual members would make on their own. This can happen because group members reinforce each other's beliefs and attitudes, and there is pressure to conform to the group norm. A real-life example of group polarization is the phenomenon of echo chambers on social media. People tend to follow and interact with others who share their beliefs and values, which can lead to a reinforcement of those beliefs and attitudes. This can lead to group polarization and a lack of exposure to diverse perspectives. Famous people have also spoken about group dynamics. For example, Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people." This quote highlights how people can get caught up in group dynamics that focus on individuals rather than ideas. In One Piece, the characters are a group of pirates who work together to achieve their goals. Their group dynamics are based on trust, loyalty, and shared values, which allows them to overcome obstacles and challenges. This highlights the importance of cohesive group dynamics and how they can be a source of strength and resilience. It is important to note that while group dynamics can be powerful, they are not deterministic. Individuals have intelligence and can resist group pressures or seek to influence group dynamics in positive ways. This is exemplified by the concept of leadership, where individuals can inspire and guide groups towards positive outcomes. Furthermore, understanding group dynamics can also help us to recognize and challenge harmful group behaviors, such as conformity to prejudice or blind obedience to authority figures. It is important to foster critical thinking and independent decision-making within groups, while also valuing diverse perspectives and open communication. The psychology of group dynamics is a complex and multifaceted topic that provides insights into human behavior in social contexts. By understanding the factors that influence conformity, obedience, and group polarization, we can better navigate social situations and make more informed decisions in groups.
Before we continue, I want to remind you, if you're enjoying this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to never miss an upload. And if you found this video informative and engaging, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Remember that your support helps us continue to create content that educates and entertains our viewers.
Let's define what we mean by conformity. It is the tendency of individuals to adjust their behavior, attitudes, and beliefs to fit the expectations of a group or society. We have all experienced this in some way or the other, whether it is dressing a certain way to fit in with a particular group of friends, or following a set of rules and traditions within our culture. However, while conformity may seem like a harmless and natural way of belonging to a group, it can also have some negative consequences. For example, it can lead to groupthink, where the desire for consensus and conformity overrides rational decision-making and critical thinking. This can lead to disastrous outcomes in situations like business meetings, political decisions, or even social movements. On the other hand, obedience is the act of following the commands or orders of an authority figure, such as a parent, teacher, boss, or government official. While obedience is necessary for maintaining order and structure in society, blind obedience can be dangerous. History has shown us the disastrous consequences of following orders without questioning their morality, such as the atrocities committed during the Holocaust or the My Lai massacre during the Vietnam War. So what can we do to strike a balance between conformity and individuality, and obedience and critical thinking? Firstly, we need to be aware of the pressure to conform and the influence of authority figures on our behavior. We need to develop our own sense of identity and values, which may sometimes conflict with societal norms or authority figures' expectations. It is okay to have different opinions and beliefs as long as they are not harmful or disrespectful to others. Secondly, we need to practice critical thinking and questioning authority when necessary. We should not blindly follow orders or accept information without verifying its accuracy or morality. We need to be willing to challenge the status quo and speak out against injustice or discrimination. Conformity and obedience are important aspects of our social and cultural lives, but they should not come at the cost of our individuality and critical thinking. By being aware of the pressure to conform and the influence of authority figures, and by developing our own sense of identity and values, we can strike a balance between conformity and individuality, and obedience and critical thinking. So go ahead and embrace your uniqueness and don't be afraid to speak out and stand up for what you believe in. Finally, groupthink refers to the tendency for groups to become too cohesive and to stop questioning their own beliefs or decisions. This can lead to poor decision-making and a lack of creativity. To begin with, let's define what we mean by groupthink. This is a phenomenon where a group of people makes faulty decisions or judgments due to the pressure to conform to a particular mindset or opinion. Groupthink often occurs when group members prioritize the maintenance of the group's cohesiveness and harmony over critical evaluation and dissent. In anime, we can see examples of groupthink in the popular anime series Attack on Titan. The characters in this series are part of a military organization that is tasked with protecting humanity from giant humanoid creatures known as Titans. As the series progresses, we see the characters becoming increasingly focused on their mission and less willing to question the decisions of their superiors. This groupthink ultimately leads to disastrous consequences, as the characters fail to consider alternative strategies or perspectives. This highlights the importance of maintaining an open mind and questioning assumptions, even in high-pressure situations. So how can we avoid groupthink? Firstly, we need to encourage critical evaluation and dissent within groups. We need to create a culture where questioning assumptions and challenging ideas is encouraged and valued. Secondly, we need to seek out diverse perspectives and information. We should not isolate ourselves within our own echo chambers, but should instead seek out differing viewpoints and opinions. In conclusion, groupthink is a common phenomenon that can lead to faulty decisions and judgments within groups. By encouraging critical evaluation and dissent and seeking out diverse perspectives and information, we can avoid the negative consequences of groupthink. So the next time you participate in a group or team, try to keep these ideas in mind and prioritize critical evaluation and dissent. We hope that this video has provided you with valuable insights and practical tips to help you manage your emotions and improve your well-being. And don't forget to pump your mind. Thank you for watching, and be sure to check out our other videos for more helpful tips and insights on mental health and well-being.